Yes, episode 341 of the Purple Rain podcast. Daryl Worley, Frank Walker, Ralph Statton, and Anthony Levine episode. Only four players to wear number 41 for your Baltimore Ravens episode of the Purple Rain podcast. Take that one to your next trivia bar. Um, who knows? Could help you. But thank you for coming through. Have a lot to talk about this episode. A preview episode
Yeah,
against the Los Angeles Rams, a very, very good football team coming to Baltimore on Sunday at 1 o'clock. We'll get into all that. We have trades to talk about. We have new Ravens to talk about, old Ravens to talk about. I know Sutton's been talking about it with you guys. I have not. We'll be getting into that. But we have rumors as well. So a lot to talk about. But first off, you can follow us on Instagram at the Purple Rain Podcast. This guy right here, Instagram or X at Sutton Def. Me, Instagram simply as10.prod, X simply as10, and most importantly, to follow us on X as well. I told you before we do live tweet the games, and I think it is pretty funny, especially when we're losing. I rage tweet. I think you do as well. Kind of get your feelings out there. So if you really want to see
for
like our
sure.
true personalities, like unhinged, definitely on X. I see we have people in the chat here. We I believe is that see we have a happy birthday possibly Zeke's birthday in the chat. So happy birthday to you if that is true.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, that is cool. That is cool. But Sutton, how are you doing? How are you feeling? With our 1-4 Ravens.
I'm feeling a little bit more optimistic than I was leaving Sunday's game against the Texans. And the only reason, literally the only reason why I'm feeling that way, and we'll get into it in a second, is because it feels like the Ravens aren't punting on the season. There's been some moves made, right? Eric DaCosta, he didn't just say, I'm going to be radio silent from here throughout the trade deadline, and we're not going to do anything, and we're just going to keep trudging along and just maybe tank for a draft pick. It hasn't been that. The Ravens have made some moves. I don't think that they're done yet. But again, I want to give a big, big shout out to everybody who's here in the live chat. Hopefully you guys are doing well on this Thursday, Friday Eve, as our guy K-Dog loves to say. What's going on, Mod K-Dog? I see you in the house. What's going on, man? Mod Cow also in the house as well. Says happy Thursday. Happy Thursday, Cow. Appreciate you for coming
Happy
through.
freaking Thursday.
We got some of our members in the house, some of our Purple Rain patrons in the house. Says happy birthday, Zeke, says Tila M.
Yes.
Giving a shout out to Zeke. Hokage, and then Chris as well is in the chat, says happy birthday, Zeke the Freak. Okay. I don't really know too much about the nickname, but yeah, again,
Christian
happy
Wilkins in the
birthday.
skies. Could be.
Maybe. But again, happy birthday, Zeke. We appreciate all of you guys for coming through, especially you, Zeke, on your birthday. That's love.
Thank
That's
you.
love. You know what I'm saying? Sam, I see you in the chat. What's going on, Sam? Tila M, giving the most important, disseminating the most important information right now. You got to like the video, guys. Like the video. If you're in here watching right now, if you just got in here watching live, if you're part of the hashtag replay gang, which means you're watching after the fact that we went live, make sure you like the video. We're going to go ahead and give you a 5-second period to go ahead and like the video. 5 seconds of silence to like the video. Let's go. All right. Now that you've liked the video, we appreciate it if you did. If you didn't, maybe consider. Maybe you want to stick around and watch a little bit more content before you decide whether you want to give away your hard-earned like. Either way, I understand. If you do enjoy the content, don't forget to subscribe as well. But yeah, we've got a couple of things to get into on this episode of the Purple Rain podcast. Of course, this is our preview show, so we will be doing our picks. We'll be doing our parlays. We'll be doing our keys to victory, all that good stuff. But before we get into that, there has been some news around Baltimore. Again, no need to really mince words about it. The biggest news is this. So Odafe Oweh was traded from the Ravens to the Chargers. The Ravens received safety Alohi Gilman from the Chargers and a 2026 fifth-round pick. Now, like you said, Alex, I have talked to the Rain Gang about this for the past couple of days, and I haven't talked to you about it, though. Yeah. So I really want to get your take on what was your knee-jerk reaction to Odafe Oweh leaving Baltimore, and how are you feeling about it just kind of all around?
I was kind of like, okay. Not like it makes us worse. Not like it makes us better. I still think we're kind of just stuck where we were before. We lost an edge rusher with 0 sacks, their main job. Whoop-de-doo, unfortunately. And it takes me back to, I think, April. We talked about this. It was the thumbnail on his show. Oweh tweeted that peace sign. I don't know if you remember that. I think ever since that, I kind of felt like he's been a little bit checked out of Baltimore. He doesn't tweet, but when you put something out like that, now you're kind of talking like a diva wide receiver. Like, that's the stuff Michael Thomas would do, AJ Brown would do. Like, edge rushers don't really do that. They just hold out like your Trey Hendricksons have, your Michael Parsons have. But the way he started the season, wasn't good, and you could see kind of the writing was on the wall. Mike Green, more snaps than him. Tavius Robinson, more snaps. Ojabo was getting snaps. We have Adisa Isaac coming back. Not saying they've produced anywhere close to what Owe has, but this guy is in line for a contract. And this
Yeah,
guy was looking at George Karlaftis as kind of the benchmark. 4 years, 88 million. Would you give Owe 4 years, 88 million?
absolutely not.
There you go. So I'm like, okay, but I'm like, all right, wait, let me see what we got back for it. And I was underwhelmed. A first round pick coming off a double digit year. I know he has no sacks, but a safety who, honestly, is he a starter with us? If is he better than Ardarius Washington? And I'm gonna say that,
Mm.
is he better? Because I don't think he
Questions that
is.
need answers. Am I right?
And a fifth round pick, boy, I saw our fifth round pick history under EDC.
Ooh. Do you have the list?
I'll happily pull it up. It is not
Please do.
pretty.
Because I
It is
saw it the
not
other day
pretty.
too, and I didn't even want to like I had to scroll right past it. It was that disgusting. It was that just deplorable, man. I could not fixate myself on that, and because the fifth round picks have just been trash. They've been terrible. I've been saying all week, man, F them picks. You know what I'm saying? Package these picks together to make something else happen in the future, which I do think is going to happen. We'll get into that in a second. But uh, while you're doing that, I want to bring up a quote from Odafe Owe, new Chargers outside linebacker. And this was as of yesterday. He told a Chargers reporter, he said, and I quote, "I have a little animosity on my back, but I know this is a good opportunity for me to show who I can be and what was not really able to be shown with the Ravens. I'm happy," end quote. I mean, do you have the list pulled up real quick, and then we'll get into that
I
quote?
I have it. So let me know
Okay.
when you're ready. We ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Dalen Mack, Broderick Washington, Ben Mason, Dalen Hayes, Sean Wade, Kyu Blue Kelly, Rasheen Ali, Carson Vincent.
I mean, all misses, no hits. Am I right?
I'm gonna give Carson Vincent. It's his first year, but
Benefit of the
outside of
doubt.
that, 100%. Maybe Broderick, but he had one good year and he's kind of been pedestrian since. Outside of that, Kyu Blue Kelly now is kind of producing for the Raiders. Is Sean Wade even in the league? Jalen Hayes played 4 snaps with us, never saw the field again. Ben Mason, I think, is on the practice squad for the Chargers. Dalen Mack, is he still with us? Is he in the room with us? I'm not too sure. So I'm not really feeling that fifth round pick unless we can trade up for it, which I hope we do, or package it. But we haven't seen EDC do that yet.
It would be a pure war crime if Eric DeCosta were to stockpile and hoard that pick and actually utilize that fifth round pick come the 2026 draft in April, man. I just because again, and even if I'm Steve Bisciotti, these are the type of things you have to pay attention to if you're Steve Bisciotti, right? Pay attention to, like you just mentioned, the track record of fifth round picks for the Ravens over the last couple of years, right? And really see what he does, what Eric DeCosta does with that fifth round pick, because according to reports, it was Eric DeCosta and Joe Ortiz, GM of the Chargers, I believe, who really spearheaded this deal, which is, as expected, they're both GMs. And Harbaugh apparently wasn't really in on it. He only found out about it after the fact. And a lot of people were joking, oh, it was just a handshake deal between John and Jim Harbaugh. But again, this is something that you got to pay attention to if you're Steve Bisciotti, because you just can't, again, definition of insanity. You guys do not need me to repeat that. But look, let's get back to this quote. I'll read it again. This is Chargers Dafe Owe on the Ravens trading him. He says, quote, "I have a little animosity on my back, but I know this is a good opportunity for me to show who I can be and what was not really able to be shown with the Ravens. I'm happy." Now, Alex, when you hear Odafe Owe say something like that, there's two things you can take away, right? Number one, he says he's got animosity on his back. I guess he feels in some way betrayed, being traded by the team that drafted him. It felt like he was a homegrown Raven. And honestly, I did kind of, parting ways with Odafe Owe is something that I totally understand business wise. I totally understand the lack of production from Odafe Owe, but Odafe Owe, he was a Raven. You know what I mean? He was a first round pick, and now he's gone. So he's him saying he has a little bit of animosity that kind of piqued my interest a little bit. But what really, really made my antenna stand up was him saying that he's going to be able to now show some of the ability that he was not able to show with the Ravens. So, Alex, when you hear those things, what do you really take from it?
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it now with Mike Green. I saw a lot of people don't think he's being used the right way. Maybe always now feeling the same way. Not being lined up correctly, not being used correctly. Not something that I mean, we're kind of used to it in Baltimore, guys not being used correctly and they go elsewhere, playing, different positions, different roles at their position, and they're just better. So I'm not really surprised by that. As for animosity, I get it, just like you. First round pick, contract year, and we ship you off to the Chargers. You know what? I think personally, right now, I'd rather be lined up alongside Khalil Mack than what the Ravens have had the past couple of weeks. So in that case, I mean, it's kind of good for you. You're next to freaking Khalil Mack, arguably one
Yeah.
of the greatest edge rushers of the 2010s. That is, not bad whatsoever. And now it's a payday for you. But I don't think we're using him how he wanted to be used. And that's probably why I said that. And if I could, and if I was a betting man, which I am, I'd probably say he gets a sack, his first one of the year on Sunday. Would not surprise me whatsoever.
I actually, in a weird way, I hope he does. In a weird
Yeah.
way, I hope Adafe Owe just balls the fuck out, to be honest with you, for the rest of the season. Gets another 10-sack season after he starts the first 5 games with 0 sacks. Because that would really kind of prove the misusage of some of the Ravens pieces. And I'm just talking about the defense specifically here. I saw a tweet earlier today, Alex, and it was came from my guy MC, who I sometimes do the Ravens roundtable with on Coach's channel, and he had posted something that Chris Long had said, former NFL player, and Chris Long was basically saying about the Ravens pass rushers and why they're not really known as like a team who gets a bunch of sacks, even though past couple of years they really were getting sacks, but he was saying like the assignments, like everything on the for the edge rushers, the outside linebackers, it's all assignment based, gap integrity and things like that, instead of letting guys just like pin their ears back and really just get after the quarterback. And I think you saw a lot of that with Adafe Owe. Like he was really good at setting the edge, you know what I'm saying, using that frame to make sure that guys didn't bounce out to the outside. That was something that he was pretty good at, right? But we never really saw him evolve into a true, just natural pass rusher who on third down you have to look out for, you have to circle. And to be honest with you, Alex, I'm kind of starting to see the same thing with Mike Green. I don't really see Mike Green getting the opportunity all that often, at least, to just purely get after the passer. Now, Odafe Owe is gone. John Harbaugh said earlier this week that all the other guys, basically a next man up type of thing, right? All the other guys, your Mike Greens, your Tavius Robinsons, your Calvin Noy, of course. I would assume Ojabo get some burn. Those guys are gonna have to step up. That was kind of the sentiment coming from John Harbaugh, but I need to see Mike Green now. All eyes kind of shift to Mike Green. Let's just speak hypothetically speaking. If Eric DeCosta makes no more moves, if he does not replace Adafe Owe before the trade deadline with God knows who, then we're going to be relying heavily on rookie Mike Green and of course veteran Calvin. Or I think that primarily on third down, obvious passing situations, you're going to see those two guys out there on the field. So what do you really think? What do you really think happens to the production of this Ravens edge unit without an Adafe Owe?
It's ugly. I'll tell you that right now. I'm not. You think of what we had, you know, mid 2010s to up to late. We had Suggs and Doomerville. Judon was kind of on his way up, and he had a good year before he left. Even Zarius Smith had a good year before he left. But since then, we had to sign guys off the street, 23, Clowney and Van Noy to kind of save us. And then last year, Owe, he was getting the coverage sacks, and then once again Van Noy, like no, we haven't had a guy to be scared of in how long. And that's what's
Mm,
really missing. We've talked about that. I think that's why we kind of drool when we see a guy like Michael Parsons available, Max
yeah,
Crosby available.
yeah,
So now we're stuck with, with all due respect, Jags. I mean, outside of Van Noy, who I, respect, and he's, been a great servant to this league, who are you scared of? Nobody. Like you
nobody.
said, who is our leading player with sacks right now?
So right now it's between Namdi Mabike tied with Tavius Robinson with 2, and Namdi Mabike hasn't played the last 3 games.
And Tavius Robinson was probably what, fourth or fifth on the depth chart going in the season.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not looking good, and it's just a big question mark we had all throughout the offseason. We can't really put all this on Mike Green to save us, especially when we're using him incorrectly. So, and Sam says here Brian Burns was available. All these guys, man, available, and That's kind of what you see the best teams have, unfortunately. And I'm kind of worried to see we can't get pressure, which means our secondary, who we already play soft zone, don't trust them a man, getting picked apart. No wonder you're the worst defense possible because nothing is just adding up. So Sunday, we'll see what happens with maybe arguably future Hall of Famer in Stafford and Puka and Devontae Adams. Not looking forward to that. Don't want to get too much into the preview, but once again, if it's third down, who are you expecting to get a big sack? Because last week it was Keon Martin, he was offside. Our undrafted
Yeah,
defensive back is who we're relying on for a sack.
yeah, yeah. I mean, the manufactured pressure, the simulated pressure is something that I fully expect the Ravens to start utilizing a lot more often. When Kyle Hamilton gets back, I don't know if he's necessarily going to play this week or not. We'll get into the I word report in a second here, but I expect to see a lot more of him blitzing, him being around the line of scrimmage and kind of causing that havoc around the ball. So on third downs, like you said, we got Jags out there. And again, all respect to Kyle Van Noy, but Kyle Van Noy is not a big time, a big game edge rusher. That's not what Kyle Van Noy is. You know, Mike Green is also is a rookie. You know what I'm saying? So we have to curb our expectations. And if you look at the stacks, not the stacks, but the stats coming out of last week, the Ravens have the lowest sack rate in the NFL right now. The lowest sack rate in the NFL, only 6 sacks. 25th in the league in pressure percentage. And mind you, Odafe Owe was probably, not probably, he was the best at getting pressure, just kind of like honestly by default on this Ravens D line. So without him, you could see even more time for quarterbacks being back there to, just pat the ball, read the field, and then make a throw. So I'm concerned. I have valid concerns. And then also, of course, you couple that with the fact that there's still no Nnamdi Madubuike, right? So there's no interior rush coming at you. They're going to double the heck out of Travis Jones, So honestly, man, it could get scary for that defensive line. It can get very, very scary. Let me see what you guys are saying in here really quick. Alex, you had something else for me?
No, and that's my problem is that the media, the ESPNs and all that, the get ups, they don't talk about what I think our biggest weaknesses next to the O line. It's the D line. They want to talk about our offense, about Derrick Henry, about this and that. Like our defense cannot get off the field. They punted one time. I did not see the national media talk about that once. That is the freaking issue right now. Like
Yeah,
you bring up our D line, they can just run in their throats with Kyron Williams. And if they want to step back, you're not going to get any pressure. You're going to have all freaking day. And God forbid you're a mobile quarterback. You can run and make your own in the lane. So I'm just already giving myself a headache. I see Slyster says this team never utilizes their talent effectively. They all need to go. And it goes far back with players that have not been utilized the way I think they play and their best scheme and best fit. But it's a John Harbaugh special.
for sure. The world class says here, look at how dumb this coaching staff is. Owe ran a 4.3 in the 40-yard dash. When the fuck did you ever
Oof.
see this team send Owe on a time blitz to use that speed? That's actually a pretty good point. That's actually a pretty good point. He does have some speed and also some size to go with it and some length as well. I would have liked to see him on more stunts, things like that, to get him through an open B gap, right? And put him in the lap of a quarterback. But instead, he was kind of always rushing off of the edge and kind of just getting glued to the tackle, right? Setting the edge pretty well, but just glued to the tackle.
Mm.
So neither here nor there. Neither here nor there. But let's go ahead and move on here to the second topic here before we get into the preview. So the Ravens also signed safety CJ Gardner-Johnson earlier this week. Signed him to the practice squad, but all signs point towards he will be elevated and he will play. And CJ Gardner-Johnson was quoted today saying, "Ravens were my only option," when he was asked, why the Ravens or, why that happened, that sort of thing. I know you put out a highlight tape of him the other day. What are your thoughts on CJ Gardner Johnson? How can he help this defense? And then also, what do you think about his comments today?
Okay. I really like him, CJ. I think I've liked him since New Orleans, since he kind of went up in Brady's face and just like mean mugged him. I think that right there shows you who you're getting. You're getting an outspoken guy who will tell you how he feels, and he won't tolerate BS. Just won a Super Bowl last year. Last year, if you watch tape, he was very good. But you think about it, he was there with Cooper DeJean, with Quinyon Mitchell, with just a good DB and a good defense altogether. Goes to Houston. I'm just gonna debunk some stuff. He got cut not because I think he was really bad. It's because he was not being used correctly. D'Amico Ryan said C.J. Gardner Johnson wouldn't be used a certain way, more line of scrimmage, more blitzing. You said, you know what? we're just going to cut you and not deal with this. Now, with the Ravens being his only option, that kind of scares me because it's like, all right, well, we need you. You don't really want us, but you kind of need us. So maybe it could be a match made in heaven, but we do need somebody kind of just like yell. And I think this is a guy who can really get in other guys' face and kind of say, take responsibility. If there's one guy that kind of, spaz out on John Harbaugh, it's this guy. So if he's here for that, I'm all for it. But I think he does help this defense. But we don't need a safety. We need D line. And this right here is kind of my frustrating point, EDC. I'm not saying you can go out there and sign somebody off the street, but I hope we're in talks with somebody because you have Ardarius coming back in about a month. You have Malachi Starks, your first round pick, who you absolutely raved about. The whole Ravens media was just raving about this guy. You have Kyle Hamilton, so it's a luxury signing for a 1-4 team. Make that make sense.
Yeah, I about to say like we don't need luxury right now. We need
Yes.
like meat and potatoes. We need the vegetables. We need the stuff that we actually need right now. And that again, that's the trenches. So when we signed, when we bought in 2 DBs in one day, I was very confused, and it kind of leads to our next topic here. So yeah, it definitely leads into our next topic. So is Eric DaCosta planning on making another big swing before the November 4th trade deadline? Because to me, again, you acquired 2 safeties, and you got rid of an edge rusher. You lost your star defensive tackle who's making a ton of money. Something has to give, right? You're 1-4. Lamar Jackson did not play the last game. You're getting ready to head into the bye. You have a very favorable, on paper, favorable schedule pretty much the rest of the way. So I wouldn't assume that the Ravens are ready to just kind of give up on the season and start looking towards the draft. I don't think that they're necessarily going to be fire selling like a lot of people think that they are. I think that the Ravens are big buyers in this market right now, and they're looking for that next big move. So do you think, Alex, that Eric DaCosta is planning on taking a big swing? And if you do, who do you think that he could potentially be going for?
He's swinging, but welcome back, Yannick Ngakoue, for your third stint with the Ravens. That's going to be his swing because I don't think. Well, I'll say I don't think he has the rocks to go and do something big, and I don't think um, he wants to give up the picks that is going to be required to give up something big. We have about 14.5 million cap right now. You can get somebody good, but you can get somebody that can fit this team and help this team out right now. I'm not too sure. I don't think a Kayvon Thibodeau does that. I've seen his name float around. A D tackle would, but we need the guy, not a sidekick. We need the guy at edge rusher, and those guys will not be available midseason, unfortunately.
Facts, facts. I mean, there are a couple of names out there. I mentioned them yesterday on the show. Let me know if anybody I'm about to list, interest you.
Yeah.
There's a Kayvon Thibodeau who's out there, potentially available. There is a Jalen Phillips out there, potentially available. There's also, Trey Hendrickson is on an expiring deal. I don't think that the Bengals would deal him to the Ravens, but he's probably available as well. And then when you talk about guys on the interior, we've talked about guys like Jeffrey Simmons. The Bills have a pretty big logjam right now at defensive tackle. They could afford to get rid of one of their guys, maybe a Daquan Jones, an Ogunjobi, somebody like that. I think a move just has to be made. Also, could I interest you in, parlaying with the Cardinals to see what they want for Calais Campbell? Like I could see that. You get a dominant force in the middle. And of course he's super old now, but he's still effective. He's still making plays, even in I can't even remember how old he is right now. But he's one of the older guys in the league. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't hate that. I wouldn't hate Calais Campbell. But what do you think about any of those names?
Calais definitely I would be interested in if you can bring me a D tackle with him or another edge rusher. For me, the Kayvon thing, what's he looking like right now, stats wise? Um, Let me see what he has because he's up there with Dexter Lawrence and Brian Burns beside him. And if I'm not seeing a lot of production, what who says he's going to do it here with us? He has 2.5 sacks this year, maybe leading the
Yeah.
team here. But when you have guys like that, I'm expecting more out of you. Jalen Phillips, he's with Bradley Chubb. I do like what I've seen from him. But if you can get me, a Calais and somebody else, I'd actually be pretty happy with that because it brings leadership that we don't have, unfortunately, in this locker room and this defense. So that I'm not too mad about. And then also, if we could get an O lineman, I'm still on this Kevin Zeitler train. I would happily take him back because it's better than 72. Honestly, I'm done with the 77 stuff. It's 72, man. That guy cannot be starting anymore.
Dang, man, and that's so sad because Andrew Voorhees was supposed to be kind of like that the breath of fresh air at guard, right? I mean, a guy who was really really good in college, tore his, I believe it was his ACL during the combine, so he had to basically redshirt his rookie year. Uh, a lot of promise, but then just not living up to it at all, pretty much like at all. And I was watching some tape. To be honest with you, it's not just Andrew Voorhees. It's not just Daniel Faalele. It's also Joseph Noteboom as well. Gave up a bunch of pressures in that last game. I think that Ronnie Stanley should be playing this week. I mean, you guys can see on the I word report here, which I guess we can go ahead and get into it now. He practiced in full today. Ronnie Stanley did, so I do expect him to be playing. But and it was also Tyler Linderbaum as well. Tyler Linderbaum too. He's kind of been struggling. Tyler Linderbaum especially struggles in pass protection, but that may have to do a little bit with the guards that he has to help out on both his left and right side. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt there. But either way, man, either way, like it says down here, is EDC planning a big swing? I think he has to. I think he has to. There's no way that you get rid of Oweh, right? And now you have that void at pass rusher and you just don't replace it on the defensive line. A defensive line that's already struggling. You take away one of the better players and you don't replace them, no way at all. No chance in hell. But we'll leave that there. Let's go ahead and get into our game preview, which always starts with the I word report. Alex, go ahead and run through what we see here, man. It's not quite as bad, I would say, as last week, but it's still pretty bad, right?
There's that big, just sore thumb on there, and that's Mr. Lamar Jackson. Still did not practice the past 2 days. He will not be playing on Sunday, even if he
Nope.
was limited tomorrow. Not going to happen. So, as for another one, we have Chidobe Awuzie. He will not be playing on Sunday, nor will Roquan Smith. By the way, he has a $32 million cap hit next year, Roquan Smith. Um, that my stomach hurts thinking about that with the way he's
Yeah.
played recently. And then you have some kind of good news. You have Ronnie Stanley full, so he should be gearing up. Roger Rosengarten full, so we'll have our tackles. And then
Yeah.
how about Patrick Ricard limited? Don't expect him to play on
Mm.
Sunday, but that is good news. He will be back probably for that first game after the bye. So
Yeah.
that's you know the fact we have to rely on him and no shot towards him. It's just kind of how bad our line is. As for hope for this run game. That said, and then Marlon Humphrey as well is limited. I don't think he'll play on Sunday, especially not against Puka and Devontae. You don't want to be less than 75% playing against those guys. But outside of that, Hamilton full, he'll be ready. Flowers will be playing. And then Emory Jones, I'm wondering when he'll get the active roster call up because he could be thrown in, not sure as a guard, but and who knows if Stanley misses any more games. But right now, getting healthier. So at probably get to the bye, and then we can see what we can do afterwards. But 1-5 at the bye is, mm, that's really ugly. That's
Yes.
really really ugly
It is. It is. And by the way, Tila M brings up a good point in the chat. She says, "Didn't Roquan just restructure?" He did. He
for
did. I
this
can't
year.
exactly for this year. I can't exactly remember what his cap hit. You said his cap hit for next year will be what again?
32 million.
Yikes. Yeah. That might be one that the Ravens might be looking to offload. Just saying. I don't know. But anywho, I think that the biggest news about this is Pat Ricard, right?
Yeah,
Has not practiced since August. And again, like I said, Alex, I was watching the tape from that Houston Texans game, and one glaring hole that the Ravens have is in ZMP, Zaire Mitchell Payton. You know, he's a guy who has started every single week for this Ravens team this season, and they've been kind of trying to use him in that Patrick Ricard role, but he is just nowhere near what Pat Ricard offers. There were way too many plays on the film against the Houston Texans where Zaire Mitchell Payton was either getting his face ran through on kickout blocks or just completely whiffing on those type of blocks when with Pat Ricard, the fridge, right? If he was there, he's holding up his guy. He's sticking up his guy and making sure that nobody's going to clean up Derrick Henry from the backside. Because not only do you have guys on the interior of that offensive line who are struggling, i.e., Falele, Linderbaum, and basically that entire interior, right? They're struggling to open up creases and holes for Derrick Henry. It does not help at all when your extra blocker that you bring in can't block. So again, my biggest the best news, again, the best news that we got here is that Pat Ricard is now practicing again. And like you said, we do expect him to be back week 8 against the Chicago Bears in Baltimore. That's that basically I'm looking forward to that week 8 game because it's going to feel like a new start to the season. Even if the Ravens drop this game against the Rams, they go 1-5. I think the Ravens again, EDC makes a big swing, brings in a guy. I don't think they're going to make any coaching changes, anything like that. Excuse me, but I think it'll be new beginnings, and having Pat Ricard back will definitely be a pleasure. Now, Zay Flowers being limited with a shoulder, that definitely does concern me as well. Can't lie about that. Even though, and again, we're gonna get into the preview in a second. I saw somebody tweet it's supposed to be raining all day on Baltimore on Sunday. That's what I heard. The weather's supposed to be like. So maybe we'll see a little bit more running from the Ravens and the Rams. We'll see. We'll see. But other than that, you got Ben Cleveland, who did not practice today. It was undisclosed issue, right? Nobody knows exactly why. Oh boy, getting a FaceTime call. Hold on. Jeez
They're always
Louise.
the best on the mix.
Yeah, literally, and they just completely take over your entire screen. It's crazy.
Yep. Yeah.
Hopefully, you guys can still hear me though.
You're good. Yeah. You're good.
All right, cool. But yeah, other than that, nothing else that really stands out to me too much here with the I word report. I don't know exactly who's hurt right now and who's not for the for the Rams. Do you have theirs?
Yeah, I can pull it up real quick.
Okay.
Uh, Injury report for today for the Rams. So I see they placed Akilo Witherspoon on IR. So they have not released their Thursday yet. So for Wednesday, Omar Spites, Tyler Higbee, and Rob Havenstein did not practice. So that's linebacker, tight end, and O line. And then limited was Colby Parkinson, Cameron Kitchens, and Nate Landeman. So if Havenstein can't go, I know he is their starter, and the Higbee's their starting tight end. So there's 2 starters right there who did not practice yesterday. If they release the one for today, I will let you know. But still nothing yet.
Okay. All right. Well, we can go ahead and we can get into our matchup breakdown here. So let's go ahead and take this down off of the screen and let's throw up this matchup breakdown to compare these two teams. Rams coming to visit Baltimore. This one is, I mean, when you look at some of the stats for the Ravens, some of them look a little bit better than like the story tells. For example, the points per game, the Ravens are still sitting at 28.2 points per game, which is ranked 6th in the league. But as we know, there will be no Lamar Jackson, so I do expect the Ravens to score well less than that 28.2. But looking at some of these metrics here, Alex, what can we really expect? And actually, let's just get into our keys to victory, right? What can the Ravens do to possibly walk out of the bank with a W on Sunday against this high-powered Rams offense?
I like to think I'm optimistic. I don't try to live my life, pessimistic, all down in the dumps.
Mm-hmm.
It shouldn't be key to victories. It's just a key to not get blown out. And I hate sounding that way.
Mm.
I really hate sounding that way. But what have you seen from this defense, from this defensive coordinator, from this head coach, from this defensive scheme to make you think that they're going to just magically overnight flip a switch and actually play some man? Get off the field on 3rd down, even 3rd and long, 3rd and over 7, get off the field. Stupid penalties, offsides, 4th down, get them off the field, turnover on downs, get the offense in good field position. I don't have hope. So my key to not getting blown out is to somehow, some way, just some freaking way, is to just pressure Matt Stafford. He has that bonehead error in him every single time. I've seen it one too many times, but he will throw an errant pass. We have 2 turnovers all year. If we can get 2 turnovers in this game, I don't think we'll get blown out. But I'm looking at their passing yards per game, 300. 412 offensive yards per game? Are you kidding me? They can hit that in the first half. I'm scared. I'm genuinely scared. But you've got to pressure the quarterback. You've got to make it hard for him. And if it's raining, that bodes well for us. But last time we played them in the rain, I saw Puka Nacua making crazy plays with no gloves on. Diving catches.
I was there. Yeah.
Devontae Adams, arguably one of the best route runners in recent history. So I guess It's cookie cutter, but pressure Matt Stafford and play man and just trust your safeties.
Yeah, heavy on the man coverage. Definitely heavy on the man coverage for me in this one. You do not want a quarterback like Matthew Stafford just dropping back and picking apart your zone. But most importantly for the defense, and it was interesting to me, I heard Malachi Stark say this in the presser yesterday, or it might have been a media scrum. He was basically saying that, like, he admitted that sometimes he's thinking too much, right? He's thinking too much before executing. And I think that doesn't just go for Malachi Starks. That goes for the entire defense. A lot of the times these guys play timid. They play defense. And I said this yesterday. I said that when you play defense, you want to attack, right? You want to be able to attack. And it looks like the Ravens right now, they're not attacking. They're just being very, very reactionary. So yeah, cause some havoc, simulate some pressure, get after Matthew Stafford, man. Do not let him sit back there and read a book, brush his teeth, you know what I'm saying? Pursue his college degree. You know what I mean? You can't just let him sit back there and just do anything. You just can't. You just can't. But when I'm looking at the screen here, 15 sacks compared to only 6 for the Ravens. If the Ravens do have to put the ball in the air, I'm concerned. I'm concerned. I think Ronnie Stanley's going to play because again, he practiced in full, so we should have our full starting, quote unquote, right? Starting lineup. I use the term starting loosely because apparently John Harbaugh says that everything's on the table in terms of personnel changes, even across the offensive line. But I'm looking at Byron Young in this one, outside linebacker for the Rams. He has been balling out so far this season. He's already up to 5.5 sacks. I think his career high is 8.5 on a season. He was 2023 was his first year, but he's outpacing every single number for the previous years in his career right now in terms of sacks, in terms of tackles for loss, all these things. So I just think that it's gonna be a rough one for the offense, especially if they cannot get Derrick Henry going in this one. I expect this also to be a game where Keaton Mitchell potentially gets a little bit more work. I could see that totally. But and you look at the rushing yards allowed per game. The Rams are giving up 93.6 yards a game on the ground, which is ranked 10th in the league right now. So their rushing defense top half in the league. It's not crazy good, but it's not bad like ours. Ours is ranked 29th, giving up 146 yards per game on the ground. So maybe they'll go heavy with Kyron Williams. And of course, we're going to go heavy with Derrick Henry. But somebody on the interior of that O line has got to stop making these mistakes. They've got to stop. Here's another thing. George Warhop, Ravens offensive line coach, is a guy that I'm looking at very, very closely now for his job. Because, again, going back and looking at the tape, this offensive line is being asked to execute things that they quite clearly are not capable of doing on a consistent basis. They're just not. I mean, you've got guys like they're asking Andrew Voorhees and Falele and Linderbaum to pull left, right, and center on all these different plays, right? And you got some plays where Linderbaum's like tripping over Andrew Voorhees. He's late to his assignments, not picking up his blocks, and that allows Derrick Henry to get clocked. And Derrick Henry's the one catching all the heat for this, right? Every national media outlet has been saying all week, oh, we can't trust Derrick Henry. It looks like he's washed. It looks like he's regressing. He hasn't done anything good, since week 1 against Buffalo. But the offensive line is giving him no room at all to work with. No room at all. So honestly, if I'm being dead honest with you, I would love to see some more outside zone for Derrick Henry in this one. Get him to the outside. Hell, I mean, even do it with Keaton Mitchell because that's speed, right? But get him to the outside because clearly running between the tackles right now is not working very well for this Ravens rushing attack.
Mm. And you bring up the wash things. You don't go for 100 and change week 1 against a good Bills defensive line, 2 touchdowns, 2 long runs when you're washed. And it just kind of baffles me because they have the all 22. They can look at this. They can
Yeah.
see. Are we really ball watching if we're analysis for ESPN? Seriously. Like, we're not the casual guy who has his job every day and wants to ball watch. No, you get paid for this. So to sit there and, blame it on Henry is just very, very lazy. So I'm glad you brought that up. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
And you mentioned, man, that freaking O-line coach, George Warhop. But don't worry. Instead of bringing him up, our coach calls out Rashad Bateman. And that still has me pissed off. I don't know if you can tell. I'm still pissed off about it. Not because it's like one of my favorite players, but it's the fact that that's your scapegoat. That's who we're going with. The receiver in a game that was already blown out for not running a route, finishing a route.
Right.
Ferris.
Yeah, man.
It's not like this line's been the biggest question mark over the whole, off season, training camp, mini camp, preseason to this day. So I'm gonna ask you now because the line to me, I like that the outside runs, but quarterback.
Yeah.
Me personally, I don't hate if Tyler Huntley starts the game. I don't.
Me
For running
neither.
purposes, I'm not mad at it.
Me neither. But I wouldn't mind seeing Cooper Rush start. It can go either way for me, but I wouldn't mind seeing Cooper Rush start with Ronnie Stanley starting at left tackle. Because last week, Cooper Rush, I think he went, 14 for 21, had 179 yards. Of course, no touchdowns, 3 picks. 2 of the picks weren't necessarily his fault. One of the picks was just a bad one. He threw it late to Derrick Henry in the flat, and it got picked off. So that one sucked. But I would kind of like to see, because Cooper Rush wasn't playing terrible. It's not like he was playing flat out just terrible. I know the interceptions make everything look worse, but I wouldn't mind seeing him behind, Ronnie Stanley at left tackle. But if the Ravens do decide to trot out Tyler Huntley out there, wouldn't be mad at that either, because you can run a more similar style of offense that you would run with Lamar with Tyler Huntley. And of course, Tyler Huntley is no Lamar. He's a very, very, very poor man's Lamar Jackson. I mean, all respect, no disrespect to Tyler Huntley by saying that. But yeah, no, I mean, but that's a good point. That's a good point. I wouldn't mind seeing either one.
And Slicer brings it up here. All the Ravens receivers are frustrated either way. Stupid design, long developing routes. It's insane. If you put Huntley in there, it has got to be short routes. Like the way I think I'm going to give Greg Roman some credit. I think the way he used Tyler Huntley in 2021 and 22 was
Hmm.
kind of the right way. It wasn't a lot of deep balls. It was, 5 to 15-yard routes, get the ball on time, not trying to overcomplicate it. That's what you have to do. And unfortunately, I think that's what can help this offense out right now. Just simplify the passing game a little bit. The the line cannot block for 3 seconds to get Bateman 10, 15 yards down the field, 20 yards down the field, hit a deep bomb. It's just not going to happen. And why Monken hasn't realized that, I don't know. I shouldn't be talking about him because it's the defense who's the bigger problem. But this is a great
Yeah.
point here. Our developing routes are just hurting us, and that's how you throw interceptions. Like Rush did. He had to get the ball out, looked for a guy, picked off. So I hope if Huntley were to start it, even Rush too, just keep it simple. Let us march on the field. Let us win the time of possession. There you go. There's a
Yeah.
freaking key of victory.
That's
Win the
that's what I
time
was
of
gonna bring up.
possession. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
There it is. Win the time of possession. Because we have not done it in how long? Probably since the Browns game. Win it.
Yeah. Ty says here, run a quick passing game. The Rams DBs are suspects. So agreeing with you right there. I mean, the Ravens quite simply have to stay on the field. They got to stay on the field, right? I know that the offense is banged up without Lamar Jackson mainly, but the defense is something that you have to hide right now. If you're the Ravens, you have to do whatever in your power to make sure that this Ravens offense wins the time of possession battle. They have not won the time of possession battle not once this season. Not even in the win against the Browns. I keep telling you guys this because that's huge. You're not going to win football games if you do not have the possessions to win the football games and put up enough points. It's just as simple as that, right? And your defense is going to get tired, and already depleted defense is going to get tired. Man, all I want to see is some sustained drives. If I had a wish list for this game, I want to see, and these aren't keys to victory. This is just my wish list for what I want the Ravens to do. Sustain drives, right? Win the time of possession battle, even if we lose. Give me one turnover, because the Ravens have been allergic. They've been allergic to turnovers. It's absolutely ridiculous, man. So sustain drives, one turnover, and then also again, the outside runs. The outside runs. That's going to be my wish list for this game against the Rams. And so, with that being said, by the way, my guy D-Wiz, another member of the Purple Rain Podcast YouTube channel, is in the house. What's going on, D-Wiz? Appreciate you
So
for
what's up?
coming through. But yeah, let's get into our score predictions for this one. Let's get into our score predictions. So for me, I do have the Ravens losing this one, going into the bye 1-5. Surprise, surprise. I've been telling you guys this all week. But for me, I'm gonna go 33-16 Rams.
I'm not mad at that.
Yeah.
Not mad.
Yeah.
31-13 Rams. 31-14 if we get 2 touchdowns. I've never, I think, picked us to lose like that.
Yeah, I don't think I have either, to be honest
In
with
the
you. That might be
years
a
we've been doing
first.
this, in like
Right.
the 5 years,
Never.
even when 21-22 we played the freaking Packers at home. They were, let's not forget about them 2021 Packers. They were a good team. The Rams, the eventual Super Bowl champion Rams. We never picked it like this.
Yeah. No, I mean, we just never had to, right? We were spoiled. Am I right? For
Ah,
so long.
we were
And
spoiled watching. Oh, yeah.
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 But it's crazy. Apparently, after the Texans game last week, John Harbaugh came out and said that he really thought that was going to be a get back game for the Ravens. And so did we, because we picked them to win. But now we're not in that same optimistic boat. And I know Lisa Ann is in the chat. She doesn't want to hear any pessimistic things, but we got to keep it real. We got to keep it a buck. That's what we got to do. Kwame B says 50-13. The world class is 55-14 Rams. Man, imagine being a Rams fan and watching this live stream. You're probably just cheesing, smiling ear to ear. Like, I love to hear this.
So when I was on the way to the stadium last week, I tweeted this out. Good news for today is we'll see what players are serious and can step up and who is scared of the lights. If we lose in the same manner like we did last week against the Chiefs, I'll know to not take the season serious. And unfortunately, lights were too bright. Peed down our pants. If that was truly a get back game and Harbaugh said that, drive him to BWI, send him to Los Angeles with his brother, and get him out of here. Because whatever type of message that is as a get back game, and that's what you do, they're not fighting for you,
Yeah.
John. It's over. It is over. So I hope that wasn't true. But sorry.
Now I will say this, because I want to give a bold prediction, because
Okay.
this one kind of goes hand in hand with the parlay, with one of
Okay.
the legs in the parlay that I've got. I'm gonna go Puka Nakua under receiving yards in this one, because I think he's at like 100.5 right now for
Okay.
receiving yards. I saw that line somewhere on Twitter earlier today, and if that is the case, or even if it's like around 97, 98.5, I'll take the under. Raining in Baltimore, right? I feel like they go run heavy in that one. Try not to make as many mistakes. Of course, Puka is the leading wide receiver in yards. And for that reason, Matthew Stafford is the leading passing yards as well. But I think in this one, they kind of control time of possession on us, much to my chagrin and much other Ravens fans. And they don't throw all over us. But I think Kyron Williams potentially has a big day. So I'm going to go under on the Puka Nakua receiving yards, as long as it's nowhere under 97.5.
All right. All right. So, we'll get into that for the Purple Rain parlay. I'm singing out. Wow, we are plus 295. Wow.
Money line?
Yep. Over under
Mm.
44.5. If it's raining, I would take the under. I think they would get up 2 scores and kind of just run the ball out on us.
Well, I mean, because what did you say? You said 31-13 Rams?
Uh-huh. Yep.
Mm.
Right there on it.
Yeah, you're right there on it. Okay. I'm not mad at
Listen,
that.
if it's raining, if it's like a downpour, but last time we played them, it was a shootout, but team was a lot different in 2023, unfortunately. A lot better. A lot better.
What's up, Asmodeus? Appreciate you for coming through. Says this defense might as well not step on the field. Hey, man, I want to see somebody play with some damn pride, some heart. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want to see.
Well, bad news. There is no player props out for the Ravens game.
Okay.
So we'll have to wait.
Jawayne, what's going on? Jawayne says, take that 44.5. They'll have 28 by halftime. That would be crazy. I mean, but I wouldn't put it past them. Would not put it past them. Not at all with how we've been playing. But, all right. So let's go ahead and let's get into our pick segment. I think it's time for us to go ahead and get into our Purple Rain picks of the week 6 picks. But first, we got to see how we did last week. I do have it right here.
I'm not looking forward to this one.
Yeah, bro, it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad last week. So you did better than me. Not by much, but you did better than me. You hit on 6 for 14 games last week. and I only hit on 5 for 14 games last week. There were a good amount of games that, I thought were coin flips. There were also some games that ended up being upsets as well. I don't think anybody really picked the Patriots to beat the Bills, but that happened in a couple of other games as well. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get into our Purple Rain picks segment.
Yes, yes. And you know what? We will be better this week. We will not have Spencer Rattler beating the Giants. We will be on it, and it'll start tonight. The Eagles and the Giants at MetLife in about 45 minutes. I'm going to go with the Eagles after that loss to the Broncos last week. I think they're pissed off. I'll tell you this. I think A.J. Brown has himself a game. A.J. Brown fantasy owners, like myself, we've been waiting for the game he's going to have tonight. 7 catches, 1 touchdown, 90-some yards, maybe 100 yards. There you go.
I could totally see A.J. Brown going off tonight, and I'm sure during the parlay segment, since the player props aren't out for the Ravens game, we can talk about some parlays for tonight's game, because I'm definitely wanting to put some bread on that. But yeah, I'm gonna go Eagles in this one. The Giants right now, without Malik Neighbors, without Slay, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough, and I think that Jackson Dart, he's gonna have a lot on his shoulders. He's going up against the best defense he's seen so far. Yeah, give me the Eagles in this one.
Nice. We're moving on to our nice London game. We have the Denver Broncos and the New York Jets. Give me the Broncos.
Yeah, give me the Broncos in this one too. 0-5 Jets. Maybe they'll be willing to deal Quinnen Williams if they start 0-6. I don't know, but give me the who do we say again? Who was it again?
Jets and Broncos.
Broncos, yeah, Broncos.
This game here, man, I might want to watch this one side by side with the Ravens. Oh, real quick, we had Asmodeus making it rain.
Asmodeus.
About to see why when Dexter brought in tonight. If he has on one of them games, who knows? But we have only won one more game, or we have the same amount of wins as them. I'm sorry, we both have 1 win.
Yeah.
So, who knows?
We'll be watching though. I'll definitely be watching. Sexy Dexy. Appreciate the donation, Asmodeus.
Thank you. Let's talk about 1 o'clock games. This is really interesting. The Seahawks and Jags.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Now this game right here is between 2 very, very evenly matched teams. Seahawks coming off of a heartbreaker to the Bucks with a late Darnold pick, and the Jaguars coming off of a big win against the Chiefs, which I didn't really talk to you about that, but I don't know if you watched the ending of that game. That was insane. Trevor Lawrence falling down twice and still scoring. I don't know how that happened, but give me the Jags in this one. Oh, I think we lost Simply. We lost Simply for a second. Give me the Jags in this one. I think it's going to be a very, very close game as well, but I'll take Jacksonville at home in this one. Let me see what you guys are saying here while we wait for Alex to come back. Dre says Seahawks in a close one. I don't hate that. I really don't hate that at all. The Sam Darnold to Jackson Smith and Jigba connection has been going absolutely nuts this season. Sam Darnold is one of the most efficient quarterbacks right now in the league. But when I look at this Jaguars team, man, and there he is, he's back. When I look at this Jaguars team, all good. When I look at this Jaguars team, man, they have got a knack for finding turnovers, right? They forced the most turnovers in the league. And oh, by the way, they're protecting Trevor Lawrence this year. So Trevor Lawrence, I expect him to kind of keep taking these strides. Give me the Jags in this one.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I was going to say, give me the Jags. Big win on Monday. I think this can keep them rolling with this momentum. And don't look now, but the AFC South, Colts, Jags, Texans after that big win. Who knows what could be brewing down there. Moving on now to the Chargers and the Dolphins.
Give me the Chargers. Pissed off Chargers, too.
Chargers and the Oweh sack. I'll say it there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, have you seen, just real quick side take right here, have you seen all the Chargers fans like kind of bigging up Oweh on Twitter? Like, that's been really big in my algorithm this week, and I love it. It's funny to me.
They had fans. It's been on mine too. I did not know they had this many fans. The Chargers.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
What I think it is all the Madison Beer fans now. I think it's like the Taylor Swift effect. All the stands. Yeah, that's what it is.
What does she do, by the way? Who is Madison Beer?
I'm gonna show my age here. She's a singer. Got big on TikTok, Instagram model. friends with like all the LA influencers, stuff like that. So
She's got really nice teeth. I will say that.
yeah, give
Yeah.
me your dentist's number.
Yeah.
I could use them. I could use them.
For sure, for sure. But I'll go
That
Chargers.
that's the new age, this athlete dating the celebrity with the big
Yeah.
fan base. Moving on now to the Cardinals and the Colts. Give me the Colts in this one. I'm sorry, Kyler Murray most likely won't be playing, and the
Yeah.
Colts go 5-1.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to take the Colts over the Cardinals in this one for sure.
Patriots and the Saints. How can I not go with the Patriots after that win last week? Saints had a big win too, but Patriots even bigger. Give me the Pats.
Like I said, man, I said this before the season. I think Drake May could be frisky for those Patriots, and I love what him and Mike Vrabel, the culture they're building there. I told you earlier this week, Chris Collinsworth said something very cool about Mike Vrabel. It's so much easier to buy into a hard-nosed coach who's been there, who's done that, especially as a young man. I really love what they have going on in New England. Give me the Pats.
Yeah. Next up, our AFC North rivals, Browns and the Steelers in Pittsburgh. Give me the Browns. Give me the Browns an upset.
Really?
Dylan Gabriel.
Okay. I like that. However, I'm going to go Steelers at home. You know, the Browns' claim to fame is their defense. They have the best run defense. They have the best pass rush in the league with Myles Garrett at the helm. But however, their offense really can't get anything going at all. And the Steelers' defense, I think, will kind of, how do you say, like, I guess kind of even that out a little bit. Give me a very low-scoring game. I'll go 17-13 Steelers.
I could see them winning. I had to pick an upset. That's what it is. I just think the Browns love to get in them just like those pig fights, and I think the Steelers like to do it as well. It'll just be a stinky game. The over/under is 38.5.
There you go.
So that really is going to tell you how it's going to go. Moving on to the Cowboys and the Panthers. Cowboys in this one for me. Even if it's in Carolina, I like the Cowboys.
Cowboys, but it'll be closer than you expect.
Spread is at 3. Who we taking?
I will. You said 3, 3.5? Or
3 on the
3.
money.
Oh. I'll go the. Let me get Panthers, and it's in Carolina, right?
Yep.
You said? I'll take the Panthers +3, but outright, I'll take the Cowboys.
Okay. All right. Moving on to the Titans and the Raiders. A little bit of a. You know what? Give me the Titans in this one. Give me the Titans.
This is another one of those coin flip / toilet bowl ones. I am just waiting very patiently at that for this Raiders team to turn the corner and actually be for real. I think that they may make a big shakeup with Geno Smith at quarterback. I don't think that they like what they've been seeing there. Way too many interceptions. I think he's already got 10 on the season, something crazy. They might be in the market for a quarterback soon, to be honest with you. But give me the Raiders in this one. I'm hoping you're right. I'm hoping, honestly, if the Titans lose, hey, give us Jeffrey Simmons, right? What do you want for him? If the Raiders lose, do you really want to keep Max Crosby? You know what I'm saying? Either way, I can't be mad, but I'll take the Raiders.
You mentioned Geno Smith.
Yeah.
Listen, I just had a crazy visualization. Who's the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders?
Pete Carroll.
Who is a quarterback right now that is a backup and can get traded?
I would say Russell Wilson.
Oh, hey, maybe a little bit of a reunion could happen. That's exactly what I was thinking. They could definitely use a quarterback. I mean, he's not going to make the mistakes. Genty, Trey Tucker, Jacoby Myers could win you a couple of games. Moving on now to the Bengals and the Packers. I'm not thinking even. They got Joe Flacco. They still have no line. Joe Flacco was not good for the Browns. I don't care if he beat them a couple weeks ago. They don't have the Browns defense. Give me the Packers.
Yep, no brainer for me. Give me the Packers in this one too.
We have the 49ers and the Buccaneers in Tampa Bay. This has to be the game of the week here. At least one of them. This is going to be a good one. And give me the Bucs. Baker Mayfield, Emeka Egbuka, Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Yeah. Definitely give me the Bucs in this one too. I believe that we're going again. No Brock Purdy in this game. I believe Mac Jones is going to start. Really like what I saw from Mac Jones. Delivered a tough as nails performance last week on Thursday Night Football, I thought. But yeah, I'll go with the with the Bucks though. Give me the Bucks.
Lions Chiefs Sunday Night Football in Kansas City. Lions.
Give me the
Lions.
Lions. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Lions in this one. You know, the Chiefs still can't run the football, right? And I think that stopping the run hasn't necessarily been their strong suit either. Combination of those two things, the Lions are riding high right now. They started off the season, I believe, 0-1 on a 4-game win streak. Give me the Lions right now, as the Chiefs look like they're reeling.
They're lucky we're bad. We're getting all the airtime.
Yeah.
We are just papering over any cracks going on there in Kansas City. Because they should be getting talked about more. But, all right, next. Oh, my God. We have a doubleheader Monday Night Football next week. Or this week. Are you kidding me? Bills-Falcons. 7:15 p.m. Give me the Bills.
Yeah, I don't know why we have these double headers on Monday. You can easily throw another one of those games into the 4 p.m. window. I don't really understand that. But you said it was Falcons and Bills, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, give me the Bills.
Then Bears-Commanders. I get the storyline of this, but this is a perfect 4:25 CBS game rather than a Monday night game. But at the same time, Commanders' primetime games are pretty good. Usually are. They're not usually blowouts. Good close games. Give me the Commanders in this one.
I am also going to go with the Commanders in this one too. It doesn't look like Terry McLaurin is going to play again, but it was no Terry, no problem last week against the Chargers. Their defense really stepped up. Give me the Commanders in this one too.
There it is. Your Week 6 NFL picks.
Yeah.
For the 2025 NFL season. Let's make some money, why don't we?
Yeah, why not? Why not? Let's go ahead and get into our Purple Rain Parlay segment now.
Yes. Tonight we have the Eagles and the Giants. So I'll start off real quick. We have the Eagles with -450 favorites, 7.5 point spread, and 40.5 over under. So any of that stand out to you? Want to maybe dabble in it, or do we look at player props, anything like that?
I mean, for me, the player props is I think where we can make some money tonight. So like you mentioned earlier, AJ Brown over on his receiving yards. Well, wait a minute. What's his reception line at? Over under how many receptions? 4.5 receptions for AJ Brown tonight?
Or 63.5 yards.
That's a tough one. I'll go the over 60. You said 63.5. I'll go the over 63.5 receiving yards for AJ Brown. Yeah.
I like that. He definitely will have a deep bomb. He'll definitely catch it for about 30, 40 yards over the shoulder. Yeah. I'm looking here at the rushing props, and I'm looking to see what our old quarterback Jackson Darts is at. 39.5 for rushing yards. Yeah. That's a lot.
And they're going to run him, though. I think he's been averaging, 8 rushing attempts per game. He's going into this game without his top 2 receivers. I could see him getting this one. Is there a rush attempts line for him, or a prop for him?
There is, but you cannot parlay it.
You can't parlay it, right?
But
what
it's
is it at, like
6.5?
Yeah.
On the money.
Yeah.
On the money.
Yeah, I would still take the over on his rushing yards. I would.
Okay. All right. So I'll definitely throw that for 39.5. And now moving on, let's see. Dare I say any touchdown score props? I mean,
I think you can bet on Saquon Barkley to score tonight.
-155.
Yeah, if you could, I think you could safely put that in a parlay. He's going up against his former team. He's going to want to show out. Saquon Barkley hasn't necessarily gone off this season, so what better time to do it? Prime time against your former team. Give me Saquon Barkley to score a rushing touchdown.
There's 3 legs right there. That's a +452, and you have a boost or a no sweat bet on FanDuel. AJ Brown over on his reception yards, Jackson Dart over rushing yards, Saquon Barkley anytime touchdown, +452. If you want to boost it, takes you to a +587.
Oh, I got one more for you.
Okay.
Give me the line for Wan'Dale Robinson receptions.
I'm glad you said that, because I am starting him in my fantasy team this week in my big money league. I think he's going to have himself a game, and that's 5.5 for Wan'Dale Robinson.
Ooh, they must have bumped it up, because I think it was at 4.5 earlier today. That's interesting. Man, Vegas really knows what they're doing with this one. I probably wouldn't add that to the parlay. I would
Okay.
probably take that straight separately,
Okay.
and I would still take the over because I think that you're going to see Jackson Dart, especially if the Giants go down early in this game, which I do expect them to be trailing for most of it. Jackson Dart's going to have to throw to somebody. Am I right?
Yep.
So yeah, I see my guy Nitro in the chat. What's going on, Nitro? Appreciate you for coming through.
What's up? What's up?
But yeah, so I think that's it.
That's it. That's all
That
we
is it.
got.
Yeah, man.
So that is our preview of the Ravens and the Rams this Sunday at 1 o'clock at M&T Bank Stadium. We have both, unfortunately, the Ravens losing, but maybe we're wrong. Hopefully we're wrong, and hopefully we come back here on
Hopefully.
I've been saying this past couple of weeks, a Victory Monday episode of the Purple Rain podcast. I miss them a lot. I miss them.
Yes, I miss those so much. I mean, it's been 3 straight L's. It's very uncharacteristic season for this Ravens team. But again, if we're gonna take anything into this Rams game, again, my wish list, I'll repeat it. I want to see some outside runs, right, for Derrick Henry. Let him get to that stiff arm, right? Obviously, running between the tackles behind Voorhees and Falele, it's not working very well. Not working very well. So I want to see some outside runs. I want to see some turnovers forced, at least one. Give me one turnover. Because personally, Alex, I'm starving. I am starving for this Ravens defense to force a turnover. I was watching that Jags versus Chiefs game on Monday night, and with just so much jealousy, in my heart. I was just like, bro, I wish this Ravens team could get a 99-yard pick six. Just things like that, man. It's just, I don't know. What was that one, real quick before we go, what was that one forced fumble on last Sunday? It was like on the goal line. You know what I'm talking about. It was a big punch out.
Oh, Amari DiMercado for the Cardinals when he dropped it?
No,
Or
no, no,
because
no, no, no,
Snead
no.
hawked it.
Yeah, not that one, which is crazy. I don't know how guys are still doing that. But no, it was like a big punch out. I want to say it was the Rams.
Oh, Kyron was it? No, it wasn't Kyron on Thursday night, was it?
I can't quite remember. Chat, let me know. You guys know what I'm talking about. It was a big punch out right on the goal line, right before the guy was getting ready to cross the goal line. Can't remember what it was, but it was beautiful. But I say it to say, the turnovers, man, forcing turnovers, that is literally your only key to victory. That's the only way you're going to win in this league. That's the only way. And we can't force one. We're literally allergic to them, So that's just one thing I want to see. So those in the outside runs, man, that's what I want to see from this Ravens team. Let me see here. My guy Nitro says, one day I'm going to join the podcast. Yes, sir, man. We got to get you up here, man. You bring a lot of energy. That'd be a lot of fun. We got to get in contact about that.
Hope it's for a good one, not a crash out one. Because that'd be too much energy all crashing out. It wouldn't be good. It's like the Octo box in Red Zone, man. It's too many things happening at one time.
Yeah. But all right. Oh, let me see. Oh, yeah. Tila says Rams and 49ers. Right. That's right. Okay. That's right. Okay. Yeah. That was a big one. Thank you, Tila, for that. Thank you for that pool. But yeah, this has been another episode of the Purple Rain podcast. Alex, you have something else for me before we go?
I have nothing else, man. Enjoy your weekend. If you don't let the Ravens stress you out.
Yeah.
It's not healthy.
Yeah. Watch all the games, right? Enjoy football, right?
Yes.
When you can't enjoy the Ravens and you're probably not going to enjoy the Ravens, just make sure you go enjoy football. Because we're already, week 6? Years flying by already.
Monday night, I enjoyed Devin Lloyd pick 6. Hell, I enjoyed Travis Hunter going up there and getting the ball. I enjoyed that.
Beautiful.
When you enjoy the game, you enjoy plays like that. So I enjoyed Hollywood smacking a player in his face. It's football. That's what it's about. So like Cal says, have a good weekend. Enjoy your weekend first and foremost. And get your Halloween costumes together if you haven't.
Oh, I forgot about that. Halloween's right around the corner, right? Couple weeks. Just like that trade deadline, right? So again, you guys be good. Have a great weekend. If you haven't already, please be sure to like and subscribe before you leave the video. And yeah, with that being said, I'm going to let my guy Alex take us out officially.
Thank you for coming through to episode 341 of the Purple Rain podcast. We love you. We appreciate you. And as always, stay positive, test negative.
Yes. Never, ever, ever, ever forget, even on the rainiest of days, guys, to call God. It's been episode 341 of PRP. We're going to catch you guys in the next one. Peace.